as Johann Waderpol and his delegation during a bilateral meeting in Abuja. Describing Germany as one of Nigeria's most important strategic partners in Europe, Odumego Ojukwu said the relationship between the two countries had continued to grow through decades of mutual respect, trust, and productive cooperation. The minister noted that Nigeria-Germany relations had expanded beyond diplomatic ties to cover trade and investment, development cooperation, renewable energy, education, vocational training, science and technology, migration, culture, peace, and security. She said current global challenges, including geopolitical tensions, terrorism, violent extremism, climate change, irregular migration, food insecurity, and economic uncertainty, had made stronger international partnerships more important.
The Senate has urged the federal government, through the Ministry of Solid Minerals Development, to conduct an audit of licensed miners and their areas of operation across the country to strengthen monitoring and regulation of mining activities. The upper chamber also called for the establishment of a statutory mining workers' compensation scheme to be funded through mandatory contributions by licensed mining operators to provide compensation for occupational injuries, permanent disabilities, occupational diseases, and deaths arising from mining activities. The resolution were reached today following the consideration of a motion titled Urgent Need to Address the Escalating Safety Risks, Environmental Hazards, and Humanitarian Concerns arising from unsafe coal mining activities in Ankpa and other coal-bearing communities in Kogi State. The motion was sponsored by Senator Issa Jibrin under matters of urgent national importance. The Senate mandated its committees on solid minerals development, environment, labor, employment and productivity, and health to engage relevant ministries, departments and agencies on the implementation of the resolution and report back within 6 weeks.
The House of Representatives today began consideration of a bill seeking to establish a National Commission for Rural Infrastructure and Development. The sponsor of the bill said Nigeria cannot achieve sustainable economic growth while millions of rural residents lack access to basic infrastructure and economic opportunities. Leading the debate on the general principles of the bill during plenary, the sponsor, Saidu Abdullahi, described rural development as a strategic economic priority rather than a social intervention. Mr. Abdullahi said, despite decades of public investment and development planning, Nigeria's largest infrastructure deficit remains in rural communities where most of the population lives and where much of the country's agricultural production and natural resources are located. According to him, the proposed commission would provide a national framework for financing, coordinating, monitoring and supporting rural infrastructure and development programs across the Federation.
The federal government has launched a 3-day master training workshop aimed at enhancing teachers' professional development through mobile-based learning with a target of training at least 2,000 teachers and school leaders across Nigeria. The initiative, which places special emphasis on empowering female school leaders, is being implemented by the Federal Ministry of Education in collaboration with the government of Japan, UNESCO, International Institute for Capacity Building in Africa, the Pan-Africa University, and Castalia Company Limited under the Pan-Africa Virtual and Electronic University Initiative. Speaking at the opening of the workshop, the Minister of State for Education, Professor Shuaiba Said Ahmed, represented by the Director of Colleges of Education, Dr. Uche Nauba, described the program as a significant step towards improving teacher quality and advancing digital innovation in Nigeria's education sector. She said the initiative aligns with the Nigeria Education Sector Renewal Initiative and is designed to strengthen teaching capacity, improve learning outcomes, and expand access to continuous professional development through technology. The Federal Ministry of Education reaffirmed its commitment to leveraging digital technology and strategic partnership to provide inclusive, equitable, and quality education, noting that strengthening teachers' capacity remains critical to improving learning outcomes for Nigerian children.
The federal government has approved a downward review of fees for the assessment and ranking of textbooks. The move is aimed at easing the financial burden on publishers and authors ahead of the implementation of the federal government's national textbook ranking system. The review was announced in a statement personally signed by the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Educational Research and Development Council (NERDC), Salisu Shehu, and made available to newsmen today in Abuja. According to the council, the assessment fee has been reduced from 2,000 naira to 1,500 naira per page, while the fee for ranking textbooks has been cut from 1 million naira to 750,000 naira per title. The council stated that publishers and authors submitting textbooks for assessment are to make payments based on the revised rates with immediate effect. NERDC also disclosed that publishers who had already paid the previous assessment fee of 2,000 naira per page would receive refunds of the excess payment, adding that the procedure for processing the refunds would be announced soon.
The House of Representatives today urged the federal government to adopt a comprehensive national drone industrialization policy as part of efforts to strengthen Nigeria's defense manufacturing capacity and enhance the country's response to growing security threats. The House also called for structured financial support for indigenous drone manufacturers, saying local companies require government backing to scale production and meet the operational needs of the armed forces and other security agencies. The resolution followed the adoption of a motion moved by Lagos lawmaker Ademore Kuye on the need to develop a strategic drone industrialization policy for Nigeria. Leading the debate during plenary today, Kuye said the country continues to grapple with complex security challenges, including terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, insurgency and pipeline vandalism, which have stretched the operational capacity of the nation's security forces. He noted that unmanned aerial vehicles, commonly known as drones, have become indispensable in modern warfare, intelligence gathering, surveillance and counter-insurgency operations across the world.
Operatives of the Nigeria Police Force have dismantled the pipeline vandalism syndicate in Adamawa State, arresting 7 suspects and recovering 285 pieces of vandalized Nigerian National Petroleum Company (NNPC) pipelines. The operation was carried out by personnel of the Inspector General of Police (IGP) Special Task Force on Petroleum and Illegal Bunkering in collaboration with the IGP Squad. Force Public Relations Officer CSP Aniete Niedu disclosed the development in a statement today, saying investigations are ongoing to uncover the full extent of the criminal network and identify other collaborators. According to the police spokesman, the Nigeria Police Force, under the leadership of the Inspector General of Police IGP Olatunji Disu, remains committed to protecting critical national infrastructure and combating economic sabotage.
This broadcast of Newscope comes to you from the Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State, Ibadan. Prolonged periods of apprehension and anxiety stemming from persistent theft and vandalism have ultimately prompted the Ibadan Southwest local government to intervene, taking decisive action to dismantle illicit hideouts in the Oduono community, Akpata, Ibadan. The local government chairman, Mr. Kehinde Akonde, who led the operation, issued a warning to hoodlums and other criminal elements, advising them to cease all unlawful activities or face the full consequences of the law. Our reporter, Adiola Oladile, has details.
The residents of Ward 12 in Oduono community, situated in Akpata within the Ibadan Southwest local government area, have experienced prolonged periods of anxiety and vigilance due to recurring incidents of theft and vandalism. According to community leaders, portion of the community have been overrun by criminal elements who have allegedly used these areas as bases to commit acts of theft and vandalism, targeting public infrastructure such as water pipes, electricity cables, and street lights. Resolute in its effort to restore order, the Ibadan Southwest local government chairman, Mr. Kehinde Akonde, spearheaded a joint operation with council officials and security personnel to demolish shanties utilized as hideouts by suspected hoodlums. Mr. Akonde clarified that the operation was necessitated by persistent complaints and distress calls from residents regarding the activities of the criminal gangs. The council chairman revealed that 4 suspects were detained and one of them purportedly confessed, subsequently leading security forces to the location.
I was amazed when I came here the first time to see the kind of things and atrocities that the community has been complaining about that we found right here. Whatever they steal in Oluyole community and other environs here, they are being sold to this particular area. It is the right time for us now, since we did everything that we're supposed to do to make sure the life and properties of our people in the Southwest local government are safe.
The chairman of Gada Olubode, Mr. Adepoju Popola, and the Baale of Oduono, Chief Mojid Tajo Akako, in a conversation with BCOS News, bemoaned the challenges of hardship and insecurity faced by residents due to hoodlum activities. They commended the local government chairman's prompt intervention, noting that the operation had restored residents' confidence and provided relief.
Within a trick of an eye, you find out that what could be evidence or evidences towards there will have been burnt there. They have a site there where they always burnt at every night. We are the next community. Immediately they commit the offense, they cross over here. It's very dangerous for anybody to follow them here. All the cables here have almost been stolen. Each time we replace transformer cable.
You know what do? Pastor Chairman Larry. Pẹ̀lú katakata. Gbogbo àwọn pipe omi tó gbomi wá látẹ̀lẹ́ẹ̀lẹ́ tó ń sáfù odidi Oduona. Gbogbo ẹ̀nà ti jíwú tẹ́rì dẹ́wà ẹ dákun. Kí ni a fẹ́ kẹ́sẹ̀? Ẹjọ́ ń tọrọ Ọlọ́run àti ẹ̀fẹ́ wọn mọ́ ń bí.
The council cautioned criminal elements against settling in any part of the local government, insisting that activities that threaten the peace and security of residents will be dealt with firmly. Adiola Oladele, BCOS News.
The recent increase in the pump price of petrol has sparked concerns over its impact on the prices of food items, with transportation costs remaining the major factor in moving produce from farms to markets. BCOS News visited major markets across Ibadan to assess the prices of foodstuffs and how the fuel price hike is affecting trading activities. Hawal Ibrahim reports.
The recent increase in the pump of price of petrol to about 1,300 naira per litre is beginning to reflect in the prices of some food commodities. A BCOS News market survey across major markets in Ibadan metropolis revealed mixed price trends, alongside reduced patronage as many residents grapple with the effects of the current economic situation. Many traders attributed the low turnout of buyers to declining purchasing power, noting that despite bringing goods to the market, sales have remained slow. A rice trader said the price of 50-kilogram bag of rice, which previously sold for between 52,000 naira and 54,000 naira, now sells for about 58,000 naira, blaming the increase on rising transportation costs.
55 lanta, 54, nísìn ó ti di 58, 59, ó ti wọ́n sí. Epo náà ni wọ́n máa jẹ́ pé epo wálẹ̀.
Ti tẹ́lẹ̀ yẹn ọjà yá gan, but last month, this month, little sales ló ń wà báyìí. Nǹkan ò wọ́n, owó ni ò sí nílùú.
However, sellers of pepper and vegetable oil reported a slight drop in the prices of their commodities compared to last month. They, however, noted that the reduction has not translated into improved patronage because many consumers still lack the purchasing power.
Lóṣù tó lọ bí 63,000 ni, ṣùgbọ́n lóṣù yìí níṣẹ́ ó ti dínwó sí 60,000 tó jẹ́ 25 litres tó jẹ́ kíngì. Tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ 5 litres rẹ̀ tó jẹ́ seal 1 à ń tà 16,500 ṣùgbọ́n lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí 16,000 ló dà, ó wálẹ̀ díẹ̀. Àwọn èèyàn ò rajà ó torí pé wọ́n ní kò sówó lórílẹ̀-èdè débi pé ẹni tí ò rọrùn ṣùgbọ́n tó gbéǹdì gbá.
Rodo ti wálẹ̀ because gbogbo last month yẹn bag 180 now I think ta 120 bucket à ń ta 15,000 but nísìnyí ó ti di 8,000. The more bójú bá ṣe ń rọ̀ sí ló ṣe máa pọ̀ sí. Sales ò really move dáadáa based on but towards ending of month, ọjà ṣì máa yan.
A yam trader also expressed concern over poor sales, explaining that reduced supply from farming communities has pushed up prices, making the staple food less affordable for many households.
Iṣu eléyìí yóò gba 18,000, mẹ́fà 18,000. Ọwọ́ sí ti tẹ́lẹ̀ ó mọ́. Ntófà tó fi wọ́n sí ni pé àwọn èèyàn pọ̀ ló kó mọ́ ń pa wọ́n. Àtúnwádélé náà ọjà owó òtún jẹ́ kọjọ́ ọ̀yá. Tó bá ṣe tẹ́lẹ̀ ní mọ̀ tàrú eléyìí ní 10,000. Eléyìí bó ṣe wà ní ìsìn 16,000 jálẹ̀.
The survey indicates that while the prices of rice and yam have increased, pepper and vegetable oil have recorded modest declines. Even so, traders say poor patronage remains their biggest challenge as the prevailing economic hardship continues to impact both buyers and sellers across the market. Awal Ibrahim, BCOS News.
On the foreign scene, at least 15 people were injured, one of them seriously, after two trams collided on Rotterdam's iconic Erasmus Bridge in the Netherlands today. Foreign desk editor Folashade Akintola compiled the details and other stories from Russia and Ukraine as presented by Bimbo Akombi.
The collision occurred on the landmark bridge, which spans the River Maas and serves as a major transport link in the Dutch port city. Webcam footage showed one tram crashing into the rear of another, sending debris across the roadway and causing significant damage to both vehicles. Emergency personnel evacuated injured passengers using stretchers and wheelchairs, while the seriously injured victim was taken to hospital. Rotterdam authorities initially reported 18 injuries but later revised the figure to 15, according to Dutch national broadcaster NOS. Reacting to the incident, Rotterdam Public Transport Operator RET said it was operating with emergency services to determine the cause of the collision. Ukrainian drones have again targeted warehouses belonging to Russia's biggest online retailer, injuring 8 people in the latest attack, the company said. The CEO of Wildberries, Tatiana Kim, said on Wednesday morning that the company's logistics centers in the southern cities of Krasnodar and Nevinomorsky had been evacuated following the attack. Vladimir Vladimirov, the governor of Stavropol Krai, said on Russia's state-run Max platform that the warehouse complex had caught fire after a drone attack on the outskirts of Nevinomorsky. He added that 5 people had received medical treatment. The Krasnodar Krai operational headquarters said later that 3 more people were wounded when drone debris fell on the warehouse in Krasnodar. On Saturday, Ukraine had targeted 2 key Wildberries warehouses, killing 8 night shift workers and sparking fires. Separately, local authorities in the southern city of Amavar said on Wednesday that 1 worker was killed when drone debris fell on one of the sites there. Confirming Wednesday's attacks, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that the army had successfully targeted important facilities in Krasnodar and Stavropol regions. In the meantime, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has fired Oleksandr Syrsky as the country's commander-in-chief, appointing Mikhailo Drapati to lead the military. The move comes after 6 days of protest in the capital, Kiev, sparked by the removal of Defense Minister Mikhailo Fedorov, who had previously clashed with Syrsky. Zelensky said Tuesday's decision to appoint Drapati was made to reset the ongoing defense against Russia's invading troops. Fedorov, who was seen by many as pivotal to the war effort, was removed from his post last week, leading to widespread anger across Ukraine. Before his dismissal, the former defense minister had publicly criticized Syrsky, saying the general was blocking his reform efforts and needed to be replaced if Ukraine were to defeat Russia's invasion. Fedorov has been attempting to advance drone innovation and more reliance on technology, but had accused Syrsky, seen as more of a traditionalist, of sabotaging his work. Zelensky met with Fedorov on Tuesday and offered him what he called a respected position in the government that will unify the country's technology sector. Bimbo Akombi, BCOS News.
To end this edition of Newscope, here again are the top stories. The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission has identified the Nigeria Police Force and 5 federal ministries and agencies as having the highest number of suspected fake workers uncovered during its payroll verification exercise.
Nigeria has called for deeper cooperation with Germany in economic development, security, renewable energy, digital innovation and regional peace as both countries seek to strengthen their long-standing bilateral relations.
Prolonged periods of apprehension and anxiety stemming from persistent theft and vandalism have ultimately prompted the Ibadan Southwest local government to intervene, seeking decisive action to dismantle illicit hideouts in the Oluyole community, Akpata, Ibadan.
On the foreign scene, at least 15 people were injured, one of them seriously, after 2 trams collided on Rotterdam's iconic Erasmus Bridge in the Netherlands today.
If you see something suspicious, alert the authorities immediately for timely response. Be vigilant. That's all from the Newscope desk for now. It was packaged by Helen Fagbemi and delivered by
Oluyole
and Ido Shekoni. Thanks for listening, and do not forget to tune in for the Yoruba version at 8 p.m. Good evening.
BCOS ṣe ti gbọ́ pé BCOS ti wà lórí Naija TV app ṣe ti rí pé no be play play na be reality confam ní ẹ ṣá máa wá kárí ayé o BCOS to the world BCOS ilé akéde.
ẹ̀yin tí wà lólúyọ̀lé FM ṣe ti gbọ́ pé a ti wà lórí radio box ẹ lọ síbẹ̀ kẹ́ máa gbọ́ wa kedere ó kilẹ̀ létí ó milẹ̀ létí Olúyọ̀lé FM 98.5 Olúyọ̀lé lórí radio box app.
ẹ̀yin tí wà ní BCOS ṣe ti gbọ́ pé BCOS ti wà lórí Naija TV app ṣe ti rí pé no be play play na reality confam ní ẹ ṣá máa wò wá kárí ayé o BCOS to the world BCOS ilé akéde.
BCOS ti wà lórí Naija TV app lórí àtẹ ìkànnì ayélujára Naija TV ẹ̀ka tó ń pawó wọlé commercial department ti BCOS ilé akéde ló ní ká sọ fún gbogbo wa pé láti túbọ̀ máa jẹ̀gbádùn àwọn ètò ọlọ́kanjọ̀kan wa lórí ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ rẹ ìwọ sá ti lọ sórí Google Play Store tàbí lórí Apple Store kó download Naija TV app NAIJA kó o wá fi space kan sílẹ̀ kó o tẹ TV ló bá tán. bákan náà lórí ìkànnì Olúyọ̀lé 98.5 FM ẹ lè máa gbọ́ wa ketekete lórí radio box app kò le rárá láti lò lórí Play Store rẹ tàbí lórí Apple Store ìwọ sá ti tẹ radio box kó o sì download radio box app sórí fóònù rẹ ló bá tán kó o bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní jẹ̀gbádùn àwọn ètò wa ọlọ́kan òjọ̀kan lórí Olúyọ̀lé 98.5 FM kó o sì bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní jẹ̀gbádùn ayé díjítà nípa wíwo BCOS ilé akéde lórí Naija TV níbikíbi tó o bá wà lórí ẹ̀rọ ayélujára kárí ayé.
Chimle, chimle, oyoyo, chimle.